Hi guys, welcome back to my channel. To all of my new subscribers, hello. If you guys have not already subscribed to my channel, please do not forget to push the subscribe button. If you would like to know every time I upload a new video, you can hit the notification bell and it will notify you every single time I upload a new video. If you guys like this video, please give it a big thumbs up. So today's video, as in the title, we're going to be going over some character traits for sociopaths and narcissists, covert narcissists. And I'm going to be kind of explaining what that means and going over some temperaments for them. So the first one I'm going to start with is narcissism. So a telltale sign for if you're dating a narcissist or seeing a narcissist, or if one of your family members is a narcissist. So the first one is superiority and entitlement. Okay, so oftentimes the narcissist will feel a sense of entitlement, like they're entitled to everything, superiority, as if they're better than everybody else. They're grandiose, they're the best, they're the smartest, they can never get anything wrong, and you are beneath me. They have that type of persona toward the people that's around them, and they often like to surround themselves with people that are not as smart as they are, because it empowers them, it makes them feel good. They oftentimes will, for example, if another person gets a raise over them, they'll feel like they should have gotten the raise. Doesn't matter if this person deserved it and earned it. They're better. They could do the job. That person can't. I'm better than you. They oftentimes have that type of response. Now, one sign, let me see. Let me just read what's on the website. Let me see. Oh, this is different from self-confidence alone. So it's not the same thing as self-confidence. That's something totally different. The world of the narcissist is all about good/bad, superior/inferior, and right/wrong. This is a definite hierarchy with the narcissist at the top, which is the only place he feels safe. So when they are, again, they're looking down at you, they feel safer when they're at the top. They're in control. They're in charge. They have to, oftentimes they'll micromanage. They do things like that. Narcissists have to be the best, the most right, and the most competent. Do everything their way. Again, that goes to micromanaging. Own everything and control everyone around them. Let me see. Narcissists can also get that superior feeling by being the worst, the most wrong, or the most ill, upset, or injured. So even if it's negative attention, they have to be the best at that as well. So if they're at a funeral and they're fake crying, they have to cry louder. If they are in a fight, they have to make sure that they win the fight. If they're in an argument, they have to make sure that they win the argument. If they're robbing a bank, they have to make sure that they collected the most money. So it's always a competition when you're dealing with a covert narcissist. Number 2 is going to be exaggerated need for attention and validation. I'm just going to read what's on the website. Now, I have experienced this. They're very jealous. They need you to stroke their ego all the time. So if they cook you a meal and you say, oh, thank you, that was so delicious, they want you to say it again. They want you to grovel at them. They want you, oh, babe, I really love that meal. They say, did you like the meal? You say, yeah, I told you, thank you. Oh, well, the meal was great, right? Like, they often need reassurance. Like, you have to keep stroking at them over and over again. They need all of your attention. They can be very jealous. If you are talking to someone else, not even just as a friend, even if it's a girl, if you're too close with that person, they can also be possessive. So that's just some of the character traits that you'll find. I'm just going to read what's on the website. It says another core narcissist trait is the constant need for attention, even just by following you around the house, asking you to find things. Of course, you're the maid, or constantly saying something to grab your attention. Validation for a narcissist counts only if it comes from others. Okay, so only if it's coming from another person. They can't validate themselves. See, even then, it doesn't count for much. A narcissist's need for validation is like a funnel. You pour in positive, supportive words, and they just flow out the other end and they're gone. So they don't retain that information, which is why you have to continually stroke their ego and reassure them. Okay, so number 3 is perfectionist or perfectionism. You can spot a narcissist through their extremely high need for everything to be perfect. They believe they should be perfect. You should be perfect. Events should happen exactly as expected, and life should play out precisely as they envisioned it to. I have experienced this personally with the person that I was seeing. So, for example, I confronted him with a lie that he told, or a lie of cheating, and he got caught in his lie with cheating. He expects me to not confront him, be emotionless, don't say anything. Same thing with the kids. The kids have to be perfect. They can't, teenagers and kids, they act up. Everything and everybody has to be perfect except them. They don't hold that standard to themselves in regards to what they do. They can do whatever they want, but your reaction to it has to be nothing. So, for example, I was very emotional because, getting cheated on hurts, like being lied to hurts. And his words toward me, even though he was in the wrong and he got caught, was that I'm interrogating him. How dare I ask him anything? Why are you doing that? You're making yourself cry. And he's like, just be quiet. I don't want to hear about this. That's the type of reaction you get. And then they'll try and deny it and push it under the rug and then continue with the same behavior. So you have to be perfect. You can't complain. You can't ever voice your opinion. You can't ever have a problem. You can't talk about the problem because they're perfect and you're the problem. So it's just like that with everything, with your relationship, with your kids, with your job, with everything. And it can destroy you inside. It really can. And I've battled so many things, you guys. Like, you guys have no idea what I'm going through. Number 4 is a great need for control. They like to micromanage, they like to have you do things their way in every single way. So I'm going to read what it says here. Trying to grab control of everything is a part of the narcissist behavior. Since narcissists are continually disappointed with the imperfect way life unfolds, they want to do it as much as possible to control it and mold it to their liking. They want and demand to be in control, and their sense of entitlement makes it seem logical to them that they are in control of everything. Narcissists always have storylines in mind about what each character interaction should be saying and doing. Now, oftentimes narcissists will relive certain moments. So if there was a certain moment in their life where they had the best job, they'll keep reliving that job over and over again, keep talking about it, keep bragging about it. This particular person loves to talk about the many women that he had, years ago, and that's the highlight of his life. So he'll often bring that up, even though I heard the story 50 million times. He'll often bring that up about how women took care of him and how he didn't have to work. And it was just like constantly, that was the highlight. So he loves to bring that up and speak about that. Even though I'm, with him or whatever, it didn't matter. It's like, I don't care about her feelings. I want to talk about this. This is the highlight of my life. This is what I want to talk about. I don't care how she feels. So yeah, it's a lot, you guys. It's a lot to deal with. The best way to deal with these people is to not deal with them at all. So number 4 is lack of responsibility, blaming and deflecting. And I have experienced this. So they never want to take responsibility. So if you bring something to their attention and you say, hey, you really hurt my feelings when you did that. For example, this person in particular, no matter where we go, he would look at women in my face. He would often go into these blank stares. He would follow them. He would just do things in my face. So whenever I bring that to his attention, his way of dealing with that is to either deny it altogether or to shift the blame back on me. There was never, I'm sorry, I'll stop doing that. It's never that way, because they cannot take responsibility for their actions. Another time when it comes to getting caught in lies, they'll often, well, not often, always not take responsibility for that lie. They'll try and cover up that lie with another lie, or they'll shift blame and say, oh, well, there's something wrong with you, and why are you interrogating me? And, I need a break from you. You're the problem, not me. So they'll often shift blame. And after years of that, it starts to wear on you, and you'll start questioning yourself like, damn, like looking at yourself like, damn, is it me? And then you have to check yourself, because these people are sick. They're sick. So they're going to do these things. I'm just going to read some of it from the website. It says, lack of responsibility is a glaring sign of a narcissist. Although narcissists want to be in control, they never want to be responsible for the results, unless, of course, everything goes exactly their way and their desired result occurs. So again, that goes back to control as well. They have to be in control of everything. Everything is never their fault. It's your fault. You are the problem. You are broken. There's nothing wrong with them. And they can never take responsibility for anything. So if you're hurting, if they cause you the hurt, it's your fault that you're hurting, not theirs. Because they don't want to have to take responsibility for the pain that they're causing you. They lack empathy and emotion. So when you're emotional, that irritates them. It's not that they're sorry. They're not sorry at all. They just don't want to hear about it. They want you to be quiet and be the perfect little wife and don't say anything about what they do, or perfect girlfriend, or whatever. Okay, and then the next telltale sign, they have a great need for control. So again, I'm going to give you an example of the narcissist that I was seeing. His need for control, he has to micromanage everything. So if we're working on a paper or we're trying to put together a Bible study lesson, you have to click on the tabs how he wants you to do it. You have to highlight the areas how he wants it highlighted. For example, if we're driving in a car, he wants you to take his way instead of your way. He wants you to switch lanes how he does it, not the way you do it. If you, another thing, if you want to, if you're cooking a certain type of way, he wants things done his way. So he'll hover over, micromanage, even though I'm an excellent cook. But they have the need for control. They have to control everything. And it's very annoying. It's like really, it's hard to deal with. It really is. Very, very hard to deal with. And even when it's time to break up, they have to be in control of that too. They have to be in control of how you break up and what narrative they paint. And oftentimes they'll kind of want to paint you out to be the bad guy so that they don't look bad in front of everyone else. So when you guys break up, they like to have their storyline together. Number 5 is lack of responsibility, blaming and deflecting. That is a big one that I dealt with. Lack of responsibility. In my situation, it was always someone else's fault. So if this person lies and gets caught, it's not his fault. Or he'll just retract the lie, even though he just said the lie 2 seconds ago. Lack of responsibility. If they screw something up, somehow it's someone else's fault. They knock a cup of water over. Well, you shouldn't have had the cup there. So it's kind of like I could never accept that responsibility, if you get what I'm saying. And they also like to blame and deflect. So if you come to them with a problem, for example, me, I'll say, hey, it really hurts my feelings when we're out in public and you're staring at other women. It's disrespectful. It hurts me. And then they'll say, well, I wasn't really staring at those other women. Remember that time you were pointing out that girl or that guy to me, you were staring at them. So they'll try to flip it, even though it's not the same scenario. Or for example, if they get caught in a lie about something, they'll say, well, remember that argument that we had last year? Well, remember you got caught in a lie. Remember that? They'll try and deflect whatever it is that you're bringing to their attention. And then the shift blaming, I call it shift blaming. that happens a lot. So no matter what issue you bring to a narcissist, they're always going to try and shift blame it back to you. No matter what these issues are, no matter if you're completely innocent and you did nothing, the issue is always going to be pushed back to you because it is your fault, not mine. You're the problem, not me. So for example, the narcissist that I dated repeatedly, got caught cheating. And when you go to him and you say, hey, who is this, or da 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 da, and they'll say, see, you're always accusing me of doing things. They're shift blaming. They want something to be wrong with you. I need a break. I need a break from you because you're always accusing me. So when you confront them with things, they'll often shift blame. There's something wrong with you. You're crazy. Something's wrong with you. They can never take responsibility. They'll always shift blame it back to you because they have no empathy. They have none. And that's dangerous. Very dangerous. And it's emotionally draining, you guys. Like, I've been through so much stuff, and I've dealt with so many people with these mental issues, and it's terrible. It really is. Number 6 is lack of boundaries. So for example, let me give you another example of the narcissist. So I'm not going to even mention this person's name. So me and a cousin of mine was having a conversation, and he kind of was encouraging my cousin to make slurping noises like she was sucking, what. And I got upset, like, that's so out of line. Like, please stop doing that. So that's one example of lack of boundaries. Another one, for example, let's see here. Let me think of a good one, a real good one. Okay, so me and this person worked at the same job, and he would often flirt with women even if they're not flirting back, so it can kind of be uncomfortable, especially if they know that we're in a relationship together, and he'll do it right in the front of me. So he can cross those boundaries really quickly, and they don't really have any guilt or remorse for it. It's kind of like an impulsive thing. So when they do it, they feel nothing. Even if you're telling them, hey, that makes me feel uncomfortable, please don't do that. You're making this person feel uncomfortable, please don't do that. They do it anyway, and they see nothing wrong with it. Let me go over something else for you guys. Lack of empathy. That is a huge one. The lack of empathy is crazy. They're never sorry for anything. They do not understand your pain. They don't care about your pain. So if you're crying and you're emotional or you're hurt with something that they did, they don't care. For an example, I was really upset, and I brought some things to his attention, and I was really emotional about it. And instead of listening to me and fixing the problem, he kind of was just like laying there watching TV, like I didn't exist, just flipping the channel. And then another time, I was really, really sick. I was in a lot of pain. I was like doubled over, and I was just like screaming in agony, and he was just flipping the TV like I was not there, like he's in La La Land. So that's another example. They don't feel those type of emotions. They don't care. It's like it's blocked somehow. It's very weird. And oftentimes he would go into like this blank stare, and I would just be like, damn, is anybody in there? Like, you can see it. You can really see it, and it's very obvious. And they don't think that there's anything wrong with them. The problem is you, it's not them, and that's how it's always going to be. Number 8 is perceiving everything as a threat. So if you confront them with something, they're oftentimes defensive about everything. It does not matter what it is. You can say, hey, I didn't like what you did, that hurt my feelings, blah, blah, blah. They get defensive, and they'll say, I didn't hurt your feelings. I don't know what you're talking about. You're overly dramatic. You're making this up. You're just too much. You're just too much. They get very defensive no matter what it is. Or, for example, if they write a paper and they don't get an A on the paper, or they get a C or a B, and they go to the teacher and say, hey, why did I get this C or B? And the teacher explains it to them. They get very defensive. Well, I deserve an A. well, maybe you just graded it wrong. Maybe your theory is just different from mine. So it's always something. They're always defensive. They're always on the fence. They could never accept responsibility and look at the picture as a whole. They only see their side of it. So they're very defensive about everything. Everything. I've dealt with all of these things. Emotional reasoning. So oftentimes, to keep from having any type of feelings or lack of empathy for the person that they're hurting, they'll reason with themselves. They'll say, well, you know, if she would just stop doing this, then it would make it better. If she was just stronger, then, you know, we wouldn't argue. If she was just stronger and just be quiet, you know, we wouldn't be arguing about this. So it's they reason with themselves. So if you're crying, they're saying, well, she's crying for nothing. So I don't have to take responsibility. You're crying for no reason. And I've actually been told that. You're crying for no reason. So that's your fault. Just like it's nothing. So yeah, they'll reason with themselves just to keep the guilt off of them. And it works for them. It works. It's in them. Now there is something called splitting. I think they call it that, and I've experienced this because of these split personalities. So the narcissist, again, that I was seeing, he would oftentimes go from being happy to being angry. It was always happy, angry, happy, angry, happy, angry. And he would target that at me. So we could, for example, have a great conversation, and just one day we were driving in the car having a great conversation, and then he kind of got quiet, and you could see in his face that he was agitated. And when I asked him what was wrong, he kind of just snapped at me, you know, like, you're always asking me what's wrong, and why are you always you're what's wrong, you keep asking me what's wrong, that's what's wrong, you know. So it's kind of like, and every little thing will set them off. Well, can you come in the store with me? I don't feel like going in the store. And then, you know, the next hour or so, they're like, oh, hey, babe, you want to come downstairs and watch a movie? So it's like, damn, like, dude. And then when you ask them, oftentimes they don't know what's wrong. They can't tell you what's wrong. You didn't do anything, but they can't tell you what's wrong. So they have that split images. And they can turn it on and turn it off, believe it or not, because they act different in front of certain people. So if they have friends that see them one way, they'll be nice to their friends. And then the next 5 minutes after their friend leaves, they're mean to you. They know how to shut it off. And most of the time, it's the person that's closest to them that they target. They're an easy target. You know, and then another situation, narcissists are not loyal. They're promiscuous. They lie a lot. Even if you catch them on video, they'll still lie. So it's damaging. And I remember one time I got, and none of this was my fault, I know it, because, you know, the girl was picking with me, but he sides with the people that are hurting me. And when you confront him with that, his reasoning was, nobody likes you. This is what he told me. Nobody likes you. Your family hates you. Your family hates you. You know, he says things like that. He'll use whatever weakness against you. Like, I was abused. And if you guys don't know, you can go back and refer to my domestic violence video. He'll often say like, oh, yeah, you're like that because you were beat. You like getting beat, don't you? You like getting hit, huh? So he'll say stuff like that. You know, and it's hurtful. You know, it's really hurtful. And it's to justify themselves, make themselves feel better, and try and make you seem like you're crazy, like you're losing your mind, when it's really the other way around. All right, and then the next thing is fear of rejection or ridicule. So that's where the splitting comes in. If they don't act the same in front of everybody, they don't. That's why they act different, because if they act the same in front of everybody, they run the risk of people seeing who they really are, who they are behind closed doors, who they are when nobody's around. So if you're in a relationship and you reject a narcissist, like, okay, I've had enough, that can push them over the edge. It can actually get dangerous. I've had it happen to me. It can actually get dangerous. And it got to the point where I actually had to sleep in my car. And they just called me over and over again, texting me the nastiest things, and I was just crying in my car. Like I couldn't get away from trying to go in my room, so I ended up sleeping in my car. The next thing is anxiety. So oftentimes, not everybody with anxiety are narcissists, but oftentimes they have either issues with anxiety attacks or they're very anxious. It says here, anxiety is an ongoing, vague feeling that something bad is going to happen or something is about to happen. Some narcissists show their anxiety by talking constantly, which this person does. Let me see here, talking constantly about the doom that is about to happen, while some hide it and repress their anxiety. But most narcissists project their anxiety onto their closest loved ones, me, accusing them of being negative, unsupportive, things like that. So they're usually accusing you of things that they're doing. And again, it still ties back into the shift blaming and not taking responsibility. And then the next one is deeply repressed shame. So I won't say that they go through that. And if they do it secretly. They do it secretly. So it's when they've hit rock bottom where, you know, you cut them completely off and you just cut no ties, nothing, no calls, no nothing. They'll shame themselves, but in private, not in public, of course, because they have to keep up that persona of themselves. And they have to make sure that you're the villain and they're the victim. Number 14, an inability to be truly vulnerable. Again, I've experienced this. So this person will often, they hide their feelings if they have any left, or if they feel some type of way about something, they don't show it. He'll oftentimes kind of, what am I trying to say? He'll mix up affection. So if you're affectionate with him, he automatically, that sends a signal to his brain that's sexual. He doesn't know how to be affectionate without sex. There's never intimacy. There's never, let's just cuddle and without watching a movie, or can I give you a kiss? If I give him a kiss, that means sex. It's never anything like that. And if you don't want to have sex, then they don't want to be bothered with you. I've experienced that. You know, a lot, and it's so draining, it's so depressing, and it's like you got to really look in the mirror at yourself every day like, I am beautiful, I am worth something, because if you don't, you will be done. Your self-esteem will be in the garbage. I've experienced so much stuff. God has kept me sane through everything. He has kept me sane. So they can't be vulnerable at all, you guys. An inability to communicate or work as a part of a team. Not all narcissists can work as a part of a team. Most of them can, but again, they still have that controlling aspect. They still have to be in control in some type of way. So that was just some basic info about narcissism. Now, this second video that I'm going to do, you guys, because I don't want to make this one too long, is going to be about sociopaths. And you'll be able to see how similar they are within the symptoms. The symptoms are very similar, but they are a little bit different. But I'm going to be going over that in my next video. If you guys found this video helpful in any way, shape, or form, go ahead and give it the big thumbs up. Do not forget to like, comment, and subscribe. I do appreciate you guys watching my video, and I will see you in the next video.